has to become useful in certain applications. The key to, the first you can say of that, is the purification process. Purification means lead graphite to 99.95, up to 99.95% purity. The other processes are, one is called intercalation. Intercalation is what gives us expandable graphite. So that graphite, if you heat at a particular temperature, it starts expanding. And it can expand up to 300, 400 times of its volume. That has many applications. So fire retardance is an application of intercalated graphite or expandable graphite. Micronized and colloids. So in the lithium-ion batteries, what you use is micronized and shaped graphite. So it's kind of 20 micron size, and it is rounded off. That's the third process we have to have. Spherical is the process of rounding it off. So that is what gets into the lithium-ion batteries. So the first 20,000 tons capacity we structured for our value-added graphite products project. That is how the individual capacity of the different constituents of the plant would be. And we are flexible. Moreover, as the demands grow, we can expand any part of this. So if intercalated graphite demand grows to, say, more than the spherical graphite, we can expand that more or this more. That's how we structured our first base plant. Again, this is the modular design concept with which we have been working. We want to go slow and steady, and we want to go with early cash flows. We want to earn and invest so that we are not raising money every time. That picture is for the part of the fire retardance plant. This, again, the equipment is in-house designed. The process is in-house designed. It is a patented process. Our CEO for this project, he was one of the first inventors of fire retardants, if I can say. There was another company in the United States which did it at similar time, and in this part of the world, apart from that, it's the CEO of this project who's been the inventor of the process. This is very close to my heart. This is a bigger part of the dream that I have had on the graphite space. The Graphene and Mintech Mineral Research Center, in fact it is Mintech, that is an error, sorry. The Graphite and Mintech Research Center. Well, it is by name a research center, but what is it? It is not a non-commercial venture. It is a commercial venture where we develop technologies, we acquire knowledge, and use that for making cash flows. The center is divided vertically into two activity areas. One we call as GRACE, and second we call it as MinMet. I will speak about MinMet first. MinMet is basically a center where we develop mineral processing technologies and extractive metallurgy technologies. Why this? Because the team we have, they are super experts in mineral processing. You know, it's again a challenge for the world. How can we improve the utilization of lean grade ores? So if an iron ore has phosphorus of 1%, it isn't usable today. Can we develop a process that can be usable? Such are the areas that the mineral processing technology will work on. We can do that because we have a team that has expertise in that. So we use this side to make this center a cash generating operation from day one. There is a lot of work that you can do in the same, and there are a lot of revenue streams that we can have for it, and that's how we structured MinMet. The other side is GRACE, which is the Graphite and Graphene Research Center of this unit. How are we shaping up this? There are two primary targets at GRACE. One, we will be setting up a 10 kg per day graphene manufacturing facility. What is the technology for that? The technology is again unique, and that's what has been developed by our team. Why are we excited about graphene? because of the kind of material it is and because what it can bring to us and to the world. Graphene can be everywhere in our lives. A building would become stronger, it will last longer, and it would use less of materials if we can add the qualities of graphene into it. It'll take its time. Automobiles can be lighter, but still stronger if we can impregnate graphene into the metals that are used into it. Conducting of electricity can have a totally different overview if we can impregnate graphene into conductors. So the arena of graphene, friends, is immense. That is what inspired us and our team to work on graphene. The team that works with us published a paper in the Royal Society of Chemistry, RSC, in London. So they are one of the unique Indian teams who have had the accolade to have their first process development paper published by the Royal Society of Chemistry, RCS. What is exclusive about this technology? It is again a very low-cost technology, and it has proven to give us graphene, which has optimized properties for, like if we talk of electrical applications, you need to have a graphene that has optimized electrical conductivity property. If we talk of steel impregnation, you need that strength property optimized. Similarly, there are so many. So we have been able to develop a process under which we can control or we can get graphene with optimized properties in the focus area where it has to be applied to. Having developed this at the lab scale, we are scaling it up to a 10 kg per day capacity. It's a 3 to 5 layer graphene that we get output of. The process is, again, we first make graphene oxide, and then it's reduced to RGO, reduced graphene oxide. Graphene oxide itself has a lot of applications. 10 kgs looks small in a number, but graphene sells at pricing in grams. Today it could be maybe 10 to 20. The highest end single layer graphene is hundreds of dollars a gram. What do we want to do? No, we don't want to sell 10 kgs of graphene alone. We want to catalyze the commercialization of graphene. Having developed a low-cost process, we find ourselves very well placed in doing that. We start by 10 kgs, spread it into the arena completely so that applications develop. We are able to scale up the capacities, catalyze commercialization of operations. In the meantime, this 10 kg gives us a lot of cash flows too, and catalyze commercial manufacture of graphene and application of graphene. This may take 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, friends. But this is something that is going to change the world. In addition to that, what does GRACE give us? It gives us the capability to research on graphite applications. So if there's a customer who manufactures fire retardants end products, and he wants certain enhanced properties in the input fire retardant graphite, we can do that research back end and have that competitive edge in front of all our customers. Well, friends, I can speak on graphene for a day, maybe more. There's loads to it. And trust me, this is a material that will change the way the world is. It will make the world more sustainable. Let me move on to the next. So we've talked about how we've structured our company, our projects. Where are we leading to as far as our investments and financials are concerned? That's the next. As I said, friends, we have a 3-year modular development plan. What that plan is. Please recall, there are 3 streams. One, basic mining and processing of graphite in Madagascar, the specialty graphite project, and the Graphene and Mintech Research Center. In the first year, that is the current year, that's the kind of investment that is getting into our projects. In Madagascar, about 2.3 million pounds. At the specialty graphite project, about 2.9 million pounds. And in the research center, about 2.7. The next year, in 2019, that is the investment side. But the next year, we start generating cash from the next year itself. The third year, that's the maximum investment. Third year, it would be less than 3 years from now, but that's the third financial year. And in 2021-22, we complete this plan that we have. In all, at Madagascar, we are investing 23.4 million pounds, 17 in the specialty graphite project, and 14.3 in the research center. These costs include our capex and our working capital. So we are all in, including everything, the management costs, the pre-operative costs, everything included. What does this give us as an output? Current year, we're not generating any cash. We are generating only operating cash, but we can't cover all our costs. Next year, we generate 9.6 million pounds. And that's the post-tax figure. That's not the EBITDA. I'll show you the EBITDA in the next slide too. Each of the project starts generating cash from the next year itself. That's how the numbers grow as we complete our modular development of all the 3 projects. So in 2020-21, it grows to about 36.8, and 21-22, about 49.7. We plotted this graph for you to see these figures, how they look like. So the investment annually for all projects together, 8 million, 14.8, 26.3, and 5.6. The cash flow is the darker green line, 11, 43.5, and 59.4. And the cash after taxes, that's the lighter green line. Well, friends, this is how our financial model looks like as of today. What we'll do after that, we haven't planned that today, but we have loads to do maybe. By this time, we will have grown into the graphene space quite a bit. As far as our capital is concerned, friends, we were incorporated about 16 months back. We raised 2 rounds of pre-IPO cash, and we are now working on our IPO. So I must say, I'm very happy to be with you, as you are the first people we are communicating with that we are coming to IPO in Q4. Till now, we haven't disclosed these numbers anywhere else. Wayne is one of our first investors, and I really value him, for obvious reasons. He gave us support when we started our journey. So friends, I'm very happy to present this. We will be IPOing in Q4. We will be raising more or less 15 to 20 million pounds. With that, the rest of the capex will be funded through internal cash flows. We are not coming again and again to the markets, so we are not going to AIM. We decided to go to the standard list. There are restrictions on how can you raise follow-on capital in standard list. But we found that as a more preferred exchange in our arena, because we will go to the main board as soon as we can into the premium segment. So we prefer to list in the standard list. There are many reasons behind it. Friends, I also want to share, we are very prudent with our expenditure, whether it is capex, whether it is management cost, whether it is OPEX, any part of it. Where we have reached, the total cash that we have used till date is more or less $3 million, including the production, the acquisition of assets, the build-up of the private plant, build-up of the infrastructure, everything in. We have spent only $3 million worth of cash until now. That's how our spending for the Madagascar project and for the specialty graphite project looks like, how it is divided. So the mining equipment, processing plant, utilities, plant building, plant construction support. So there are so many different arenas, but we are very prudent in our cost structure. If I can say, I said we are the lowest capex company in graphite. We are creating 81,000 tons of capacity and using 23.4 million pounds for it, more or less 30 million US dollars. That gives us more or less 300 plus US dollars per ton of annual capacity created. Have a look at any other, there are so many listed companies on graphite today. Have a look at their capex numbers and you'll find the difference. We are possibly less than maybe 40% of the lowest in that. That's the way we work, that's the way we think, that's the way we are developing our company, and that's the culture we have developed. That is why we have the opportunity to have higher earnings. Similarly, our OPEX are low. So that gives us higher earnings as compared to others. So I was in a conference about